It all began in a garage back in 1976. What an amazing journey for Steve Jobs. And few have covered him more closely than our Nightline anchor, Bill Weir, and he's here now.
You know, George, we went out Tuesday for the new iPhone announcement, and some of us hoped against hope, and he might be able to surprise us once again and comeback appearance it wasn't meant to be. A lot of people were disappointed that it wasn't an iPhone 5 that was unveiled there on Tuesday. It was an iPhone 4S, which takes on new meaning this morning. A lot of people think that stands for Steve. Before he put a virtual world at our fingertips.
And we call it the iPad.
Before he turned household tools into objects of desire.
Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone.
Before he changed the way we are entertained.
And you can watch it on your iPod.
Steve Jobs was an unwanted infant. He was adopted by a working-class couple in Silicon Valley, was a delinquent through much of his youth, and dropped out of college after 6 months. But then he met a buddy named Steve Wozniak, and the two founded Apple in his parents' garage.
It is with considerable pride that I introduce a man who's been like a father to me, Steve Jobs.
In just 10 years, they had 4,000 employees. But after a power struggle with his board, he was fired from the company he founded.
And so at 30, I was out, and very publicly out. What had been the focus of my entire adult life was gone. And it was devastating.
But he didn't wallow for long, and soon he met his wife, started another computer company called Next, and took over Pixar, helping change animation forever.
Excuse me. Lightyear to the rescue.
In '96, Apple bought Next, and soon Jobs was back in charge. And since his return, Apple stock has soared more than 7,000%, and that garage startup now has more cash on hand than the U.S. Treasury. But all the money in the world can't buy health or time. He beat pancreatic cancer and lived 2 years with a transplanted liver, all the while burning with the need to build something great.
No one wants to die. Even people who want to go to heaven don't want to die to get there. And yet, death is the destination we all share. No one has ever escaped it. And that is as it should be, because death is very likely the single best invention of life. It's life's change agent. It clears out the old to make way for the new.
And he was a living example of following your gut. He knew exactly what he wanted, the way the iPod feels, the tactile emotion people associate these, the way the products are packaged and you have to unwrap them. All of that was Steve Jobs. He didn't invent the mouse. He saw it in a lab at Xerox and said, that's going to change the way we interact.
And if the engineers didn't give him what he wanted, he sent it back.
And he never focus grouped anything. He thought he knew what we wanted years before we did. And he was right in a lot of ways.
Sure was.